guys, it's Eric and Maykus on another wet, cold, rainy morning here in North Texas. I'm just outside of Argyle, Texas, not too far from our Lakes of Argyle neighborhood. You know, in Argyle, just like pretty much every other little community, town in Texas, or indeed any other part of our nation, is rich in history and a treasure trove of legends. For example, supposedly Sam Bass has buried treasure in Argyle, Texas, bags of gold that was stolen from some of his various robbers. But right up here around the corner, I'm going to take you to a genuine piece of Texas history that has its own assorted legends. Y'all hang on just a second. Well, here we are, guys. The Old Alton Bridge, named for the town of Alton, which is now no longer with us, but at one time was the seat of Denton County. Now, originally this bridge would have only been used for buggies or horses to cross, but once mobile automobiles became invented, no doubt some of the very first cars and Model Ts crossed this span. It's also built on the side of what was a good crossing or a good ford for cattle drives here. But many of you perhaps know this bridge by a different name, the Goatman Bridge. And as I've driven to my job site, I kind of have noticed that many of you, for some reason, have ghosts and goblins and witches and stuff all decorating the front of your home. Now, I'm not sure what that's all about, but the Goatman Bridge has got kind of a local legend or story that goes with it. It seemed kind of appropriate for me to tell it to all you folks that got that stuff on the front of your house. Now, according to local legend, really bad things happened here at some point in time. Now, there's some discussion as to whether it happened in the 1930s or happened much, much earlier than that. And neither of the names associated with the events that are supposed to have happened here have ever been found in history books or anywhere else. But I read somewhere that there's no sense in letting the truth of the story get in the way of telling a good tale. So I'm going to tell you the tale of the Goatman Bridge. According to the legend, somewhere along the banks of this creek or river, depending on what you want to call it, lived a man that raised goats with his family. Very successful man, honest man, and well liked by many in the community. However, as often is the case in our dark history, people were jealous because he just wasn't exactly like him. He was a man of color, different than what they thought should be successful. And because of that, a group of night riders came out here and took this man, put a rope around his neck, and they dropped him over the edge of the bridge to hang him. But when they walked up to look down and see what they thought was their good deed, there was no body hanging at the end of the rope. They panicked, and their next act, according to the legend, was even more dastardly. They killed the man's entire family. Now, according to the rest of the legend, if you come out here and knock on this bridge at midnight, 3 times, the Goatman will appear. And there's a variety of legends about what happens when he shows up. I'm going to let you guys come out here at midnight and knock 3 times and get back to me on whether or not any of those things take place. But I could not help but think that the legend, be it true or not, does highlight one thing. Terrible things happen when we allow hate to grow in our hearts simply because someone is different than we are. Well, I got back in the Jeep because, like I said, it's another cold, wet, and rainy morning out there. You know, I love history, and I like sharing things like this with you guys. But you know what? Thought occurred to me is that if I sell you a home out in my Lakes of Argyle neighborhood, and you choose to dig up your back or front yard looking for Sam Bass's buried treasure, be careful. I got some buried power lines and gas lines in there. You don't want to dig into those. Watch out for your irrigation lines. But more importantly, if you find a couple of bags of gold, remember old Eric and the guy that told you the story. This is Eric and Maykus. Y'all take care now and be safe. Bye-bye now.